This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories, and welcome to a review of What If Season 2, Episode 6, titled What If Kahhori Reshaped the World. And honestly, this one, it was good. Not one of my personal favorites, and it did have some interesting moments, but this really didn't feel like it was related to the MCU at all. This felt like, honestly, it could have been made by anyone, and I had to remind myself that this was a Marvel production since really nothing besides the short little descriptions from the Watcher, the appearance of Doctor Strange at the end, and the mention of the Space Stone is all that keeps it from being really any other type of story since Odin can be used really by anyone since he is originally a Norse god. The events of Ragnarok are also, part of Norse mythology, as is Surtur. So, really, if you wanted to, someone could have made this way before Marvel with just a few slight alterations and nothing really would have changed. But yeah, really, besides that, there's also this slight annoyance of kind of just having to read subtitles since almost none of it was in English. And it's not problematic if it's under ideal circumstances, but of course, most people are going to be watching it under ideal circumstances, and that is since, not many people have time to just sit down and truly watch something without having something else going on. Typically, when I watch something, unless it is the first time, I will be, unless I'm in a theater, I'll be doing something else. Unless it is very specific cases like movies in the original trilogy and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. But with this one, I had to pay close attention, and while I was trying to get ready for work while I was doing it, mainly it was just me eating breakfast, so I was still able to pay attention, but it is annoying, and it seems like there's not going to be many people who would be able to watch it fully without the subtitles, since they'd both need to speak Spanish, and I don't know what the language is, but I'm assuming it is some Native American language because, I didn't recognize it, but I only fluently know English. So, yeah, it is. It's just a little annoying sometimes with that. And sure, they could have the controversy of it not being in those languages. It goes the other way around, but there's always the comic thing where they could have just had the watchers say that he's using some multiversal translator to translate it all to English from the languages just to do that. Or they could have had an option. I'm thinking I was like half asleep, so maybe they did have the option and I missed it. But yeah, that was just a little annoying. But nothing that was a deal breaker. The story overall was really good. But if my memory of history was correct, and it might not be, but my quick search on Google did at least partially confirm it, but it was just a quick search on Google, so I can't be 100% sure. But the king at that time, at least assuming this is the king and queen who sent Columbus on his journey since well, obviously it seems that it's pretty early into the colonization of the Americas, would have still been alive, and he outlived his wife. So there's also the fact that, especially in Europe, they weren't giving lots of power to women. So even if they did have it change around, I think that it would have been likely his kid would have taken over. But that's just, more a minor thing. It could be just explained by it's a what if, or I might be looking at history completely wrong. I'm not really a history person, but it did seem a little off, and yeah, I think this episode was overall really good. There was one thing I was really glad they didn't do, and that would have been if the heroes went on a sort of like, vengeance tour through Europe, basically committing similar acts of just really horrible things that were committed against them in the history that would have been both in the MCU and ours. That would have been the wrong message to send, and it was just a little fear at the back of my mind that they might have done it because they could have went down a weird like Killmonger path, and I think that would have been really bad to do. But thankfully they didn't do that, and it was it was just a really solid episode. As I said, it was kind of annoying with the subtitles, so I do want to check if there is a way for me to watch it where I don't have to read it because it's just, kind of annoying to go through subtitles, especially when you don't have, really the opportunity to be able to look at the screen the entire time and be closely reading it. And then the Spanish in this, they were pretty brutal, and it was, I don't know how historically accurate because that's something this doesn't, have to go through with, but Looking for the Fountain of Youth is a common enough story for this time period that I think it does make sense, and yeah, overall it was really solid. I want to see how they continue on with this, and well, how translation is going to be working inside of the final episode, since it will be, from the looks of it, another crossover episode with Strange Supreme coming to recruit her, and since she doesn't know any English and the others do, it'll probably be some kind of spell that Doctor Strange uses or something. So if they do, I just wish that they do have a English version or just a thing where like some kind of universal translator for the characters to understand. But that'll be for them to, well, they've already figured out if they did, but it would be for something later. And I also want to know what you think of this because, as I said, it was enjoyable. It was just that I think the subtitles was kind of annoying, and I think it might be a little annoying if they did, maybe change history from before just a little bit. But there's not really any big problems, and it's a really solid episode overall. I want to know what you think about it, though. Please let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.